Good morning, Shlog fans. It's Morgan, and I'm out here in the Dry Creek area again, and the weather has taken a turn for the worse. Oh man, it's crazy to think that Sunday, 2 days ago, the boys and I were riding in like almost 50-degree weather in Grand Junction, and now it looks like this. Yeah, such is winter in the Rockies. So here we are. Leigh and I going for our morning walk, and we're gonna head to the shop. And today we have lots of good stuff going on. Should be putting a top end in a 350. I don't know about the one that we were working on, but we have a 350XC that is getting a top end, and hopefully we have all the parts for that today. Also, Zach, the new Zach, we'll be probably putting tires and mousses and service and valve check and stuff like that on a 500. So stick with us. I'm gonna get this walk done and get into work. This dog. I'm heading over to Davis Service Center to get parts. Davis is the big multi-line dealer in town, and just a little information on that. I don't know how many small shop owners are out there like me, or people who are even considering it or anything like that, but something to think about when you're going into business and you got competition like they are, is that there's really plenty to go around. There is absolutely plenty to go around, and your success is not taking away from theirs, and their success is not taking away from yours. If you're good at what you do, then you'll be successful. So try to get along with everybody, especially in this world. We're this motorcycle world. You know, we got to get along with everybody, because man, if you don't, you're gonna have a hard time, and you probably won't last very long. So I have a great relationship with Davis, and I really appreciate them. They sell me parts at a great deal. Allows me to make money. They get to make some money. Customers get a good deal on parts. So yeah, it's good to get along. It's really good to get along, because the better we can all do, the more of the gospel of two wheels we can all spread. And the more of that, the more there is for everybody. So yeah, I'm going to go get some parts, get back to the shop, and get back after it, man. We got a ton of work, which is awesome. Zach is working on a set of 4 CS forks off of that 500 KTM right over there. I have a full video on these forks that I will put up, so we're not going to go super in depth into these things, but they are funky, weird deals that you fill from the bottom, which doesn't make much sense. But yeah, just getting that done. Got a moose on the front. We got a moose for the back. Zach is having a lot of fun, I can tell. But yeah, the cool thing about KTMs is that pretty much every fork they make, well, no, every fork they make on any full-size bike takes the exact same seal and has forever. So that's the cool thing. I'll put a link in the description for these guys, these SKFs. There's the part number if you want to look it up. But I will, like I said, put a link in the description for those from Amazon. You can buy those sealed, and they'll fit everything from a 125 on up. So even the 690s, I think, yeah, all the big bikes, 1290s, 1190s, 1090s, all that stuff. So, all right, now we are waiting for parts for that guy. I'm finally going to get to that DR650. I know I've been talking about that for a while now, but I'm going to do it. Get it running at least. It's leaking oil. I think I know where that's leaking from, so we're going to check that out. Get that solved and just move on. I got parts for this 350, so might be doing a top end today, maybe tomorrow on that. Waiting for fuel filter stuff to service the fuel pump and all that still. So yeah, starting out a good week. Lots to do, lots of things. So yeah, stick with us. It's going to be good. All right, finally getting to work here, and we got this 350 XC-F apart. Actually, piston looks pretty good. Some carbon buildup, but she races some gnarly stuff, so it's kind of hard to stay on the gas all the time, keeping that clean. But here's something maybe you don't know if you don't own a 4-stroke KTM or modern 4-stroke KTM. Cam chains are on the wrong side of the motor. They're over here on the right side instead of the left side, which honestly is kind of a pain in the butt. It's not my favorite part about KTMs because you got to take this side off, you got to take the clutch off, which we just had that apart to do the recluse fix, but that's okay, no big deal. We just have to get that gear off, then slide the impeller out. This is the water pump impeller out to get this cam chain off to put a new cam chain in it, and then put it all back together. But let me show you how I organize the stuff when I'm taking a head apart, because even though we're just doing a piston and cam chain, we're also doing new valve guide seals. So, because that's what you do if you do it right. So I like to lay it all out like this. And if you look, so this is the exhaust side, intake side. I got everything the way it's supposed to be, so that when I go back together, I know how it goes. But one thing I didn't do is put intake, exhaust, because that way, when I got the head up here taking the valves out, because I got to spin it around so it's hanging over the edge of the vise, I know which side is which to put the head back down to start reinstalling. So little, I guess if you want to call it a tech tip, just to help you guys, just make sure you organize things when you come apart. It makes it going back together so much easier. Also, if you find something weird like we did on that other 350 with a jacked up valve, you can take the stuff, bag it up, write it on the bags and everything, and then you're not like searching around trying to find things. So, yep. I'm going to drop our head and the cylinder in the ultrasonic cleaner, get them all shiny and happy to go back together. While we're doing that, going to take the clutch off, get the cam chain out, new cam chain in, clutch, cover on, because I can get all that done while this thing's cooking. So, going to do that and get after it. And take a look at that thing. It looks real good. We cleaned it up with a diamond ball hone, but that thing looks shiny and new. Super happy about that. So I'll go set this thing down out of the way. Got the new cam chain on, cover back on, so we're all good. Got the piston off. Let's go take a look at that thing real fast. There we go. Piston looks pretty good, really. Definitely got some wear on it. It's been in there for 212 hours, I think. So, time to do a new one, but actually not bad looking. So, got the head all cleaned up. Everything's good there. Gonna put her back together now. And I'll show you guys when we get there, but one trick I like to do is I like to get the head all together, valves in it and everything, and get the cams in it and check the valves on the bench instead of getting it all the way onto the bike, then checking it. Mainly because it's just a lot easier here on the bench to do it than it is with the frame and everything in the way. So, and it just takes a few extra seconds to, bolt the cam caps down, get the cams tight, and then check it. So they should be good because they were fine before. But since we've taken them out, put new seals in and all that stuff, we've got to check them again before we put it back together. Then we'll fire this thing up. I'm still waiting on the fuel filter stuff for the pump. We might actually have that here before the end of the day, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I'll go ahead and put this head back together and check the valves. So a lot of 350 stuff you can only get from KTM, which is kind of annoying, but also kind of nice because when you get a KTM gasket kit, you get everything you need. We had to get valve stem seal, separately from KTM, but comes with a new valve cover gasket, head gasket, base gasket, all that good stuff. So it's actually really, really nice. Even the new little grommets for the valve cover bolts go through. So pretty nice kit. It's awesome to have. So gonna put those valve seals in, and like I said, put the head together. All right, so we got the head back together. We're gonna put the cam cap on, and we just need it down and tight enough to make sure that the cams are tight against the head, so we don't have to go crazy with it. All right, so just need a couple bolts per side. We're not worried about the torque spec, we just want them nice and tight. All right, put these in over here, and that'll tighten this down enough to know that we're getting a good reading. The nice thing about doing it on the bench here is we don't have to worry about top dead center or any of that stuff. We just get them on there. Now, I'm gonna check and make sure we got 4/1000ths on these intakes. And there we go. 4 slides good there. Oh, this one may be a little on the tight side. That's why we're doing it here. And it doesn't want to turn, which makes me think that that's definitely tight. Now, we'll check the exhaust while we're here. I like to make sure we got at least 6 in here. So that one's a little tight. That one's good. So we got 2 tight ones. Like I said though, it's easy to remedy when it's here on the bench. So now we're gonna pop this back loose. Start with the intake here. Pull that out. It's a relatively new shim because I put that in there before, so we know it's a 204, so we gotta go smaller than that. Go to a 196. This one doesn't have a marking on it, so we take our calipers. So a 214, go to a 204, try that. There we go. All right, I like that. That fits good. Now come over here, can't get that. There we go, nice. So now we know we're good. Now we can take these, we gotta take them back out, but we can put the head on and we can feel really good about putting this all together. We'll obviously check it one more time before we actually start the thing, but that makes it so it's way easier than doing it while the frame and everything's in the way.
It's not until it surpasses, what is it, $20,000 that it starts doing anything good. My 530, I had to make a special tool to torque the head.
All right, so we got the motor all back together, exhaust back on, oil's in it, coolant's in it. Now we're gonna work on replacing this. Peace out, Sad. Have fun, dude. I'm gonna replace this filter because it's dirty and we got it apart, so we might as well. So I bought the KTM kit for this thing, which comes with this, both clamps, KTM kit thing. We're gonna take this apart, show you how we do that. It's pretty easy. By the way, these are the coolest things. They're like little tiny bolt cutters. They'll cut through just about anything. You can actually cut spokes with these things. So make sure you pay attention to which way the arrow's going. Put the new one in the same way. Quick tip that you may or may not notice, or may or may not know, that clamp, you want to put them both on before you put these things together. So the other thing you got to have for this is you got to have these pliers, otherwise these clamps are a nightmare to get on. So with these guys though, super easy. Ready to go back together. By the way, this is the hardest part of this whole deal, getting the fuel pump to line up in this hole. And just like that, fuel filters changed, all good to go. And let me just tell you guys, it's super duper important to do this to your fuel injected 4-strokes because they're dirt bikes, right? So there's dirt everywhere. Even if you're super careful with your gas and all that stuff and blah, 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 I get it. Ends up being dirt in the gas tank. That dirt ends up eventually in that fuel filter, eventually slows the flow of fuel down, which makes the fuel pump work harder and eventually kills the pump. So changing those is just part of maintenance. You saw it didn't take very long. It's super easy to do. The kit's $60 from KTM. You can actually find them a lot cheaper elsewhere, but I just get the KTM ones because it comes with the clamps. It's all ready to go. So yeah, there we go. Put this tank back on this bike and see if she starts. After having rebuilt the motor, I always go through a mental checklist just to kind of make sure that, you know, everything should be good to go. So I'm like, all right, coolant, definitely put coolant in it. Definitely put oil in it. Everything's tight. Cam chain tensioner has been reset. That's a big thing on these KTMs. You want to make sure that you, when you put the cam chain tensioner in, that you bump it to unload it so that it's actually tension. Fuel pump, obviously you just replaced the filters, but it's plugged in. It's all hooked up. So let's see what happens. Oh, I think we're going to get it. There we go. Always takes a little bit when you're first firing them up after having all that stuff off. I got a whole bunch of assembly lube in the cylinder and on the cams and all that stuff, so it takes a little bit. Also, throttle body's completely dry, so it takes a little while to pump some fuel through it, but I think we should be good. Sounds good. See that smoke? That's coming off the exhaust from me touching it with my dirty fingers. Also, I put a little lube right there so that this goes together, and it takes a little while for that to burn off. So, as always, now I like to check the coolant, make sure it's moving. It's moving nice and smooth in there. Now it's ready to rough. Take a look for any kind of leaks. So I like to take brake clean, spray it in all these surfaces. And the reason I use brake clean is that it dries out really fast, and then we can see if we got any other kind of leaks. So far, so good. Alright, let's try restarting, see it should be better than that initial start. There we go. That's better. I like it. I think we're good. So now I'm gonna, it's the end of the day, so I'm gonna go home is what I'm gonna do. But when I come back tomorrow, I'm going to go over the whole thing again with a wrench and a ratchet and just touch everything that I touch to make sure it's all tight and happy. And then I'm going to give her a ring and let her know it's ready to go. But yeah, I think we're all ready to rock and roll. She's ready for another ripping season. She's getting ready to go racing again here real soon, starting March 7th. That's when the first race is for them down in Texas, and they're going to go down there and see how they do. So thanks, guys. I'm going to wrap this thing up, and then I'll give you guys the outro. Sweet. Great day. Zach Got a whole bunch done on this. Forks, new front tire and moose. We got the shock right over there, getting ready to be bled tomorrow. So that's awesome. Just waiting on a moose because they're back ordered. Hey, Nitro Moose, what the heck? New rear tire valves, got checked on that. Sorry, I did not film that. We've just been kind of crazy, which is awesome. Look at all these motorcycles. Motorcycle, lots of motorcycles to work on. That thing over there, but that'll be good. Hey, puppers, Leia, come here and say hi to the peoples. That's a good dog. So, yeah, awesome day. Thanks for joining me for the Shlog. I know this is kind of a short one, not super informative, but, you know, sometimes they're like that because you get busy and you got to get things done. But, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and please, 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 please find some time to ride your dirt bikes. Riding in the